The mindset of Gordon Ramsay explained. You look at your life, your habits, or your English and say, "It's good enough." That phrase is a quiet poison. Today, we analyze the brutal, high-performance mindset of Gordon Ramsay. Learn why demanding absolute excellence is the only way to escape an average life. Maybe you know this feeling. You study English for an hour. You learn a few new words. You feel okay. You tell yourself, "I did enough for today." But when you try to speak, the words don't come. You hesitate. You make the same old mistakes. Deep down, you know the truth. You are settling. We see this everywhere. In our jobs, in our fitness, and especially in how we learn. We accept average because average is comfortable. Average doesn't hurt. But look at Gordon Ramsay. People see an angry man shouting in a kitchen. They think it is just for television. They are wrong. Ramsay is not shouting because he is mean. He is shouting because he refuses to accept good enough. He knows that a tiny mistake in the kitchen leads to a disaster on the plate. English is the same. If you accept good enough grammar, you will always have good enough conversations. You will never feel powerful. You will never feel truly fluent. In this video, we are going to break down the Ramsay mindset. We will look at why you must stop making excuses for your progress. We will learn how to turn up the heat on your own standards. Because if you want an extraordinary life, you cannot have ordinary habits. So, before we fix the problem, we must understand why it happens. Chapter 1. The good enough virus. Good enough is not a target. It is a slow, silent death for your potential. Think about the last time you practiced English. Maybe you were tired. You did a quick exercise on your phone. You got a few answers right, and you thought, "That's good enough for today." In that moment, you caught a virus. I call it the good enough virus. Most people live their entire lives infected by it. They don't aim for the top. They aim for the middle. They seek the safety of being average. But here is the danger of average. Average is a slow decline. If you accept a 1% mistake today and another 1% mistake tomorrow, where are you in a year? You are not moving forward. You are drifting backward. Gordon Ramsay sees this in the kitchen every day. A chef brings him a dish. The chef knows the sauce needs more salt. The chef knows the meat is slightly overcooked. But the chef thinks, "The customer won't notice. It's good enough." Ramsay explodes. Why? Because he knows that good enough is the beginning of failure. If you accept a small mistake, you will soon accept a big mistake. If you accept broken English today, you will speak broken English for the next 10 years. You tell yourself, "At least they understood me." But did they respect you? Did you feel confident? Or did you just survive the conversation? When you settle for average, you are telling yourself that you don't deserve the best. You are saying that your goals are not worth the extra effort. Imagine if a world-class athlete had a good enough mindset. Imagine if a brain surgeon said, "This is good enough." You wouldn't trust them. So why do you trust yourself when you give a half-hearted effort? Success is not a lucky accident. Success is the result of high standards. When you raise your standards, your life changes. Your English changes. People start to listen to you differently. They see someone who cares about the details. But to change your standards, you have to be honest. You have to look in the mirror and see the mistakes you are trying to hide. Most people are afraid of the truth. They want a hug. They want someone to tell them they are doing great, even when they aren't. But if you want to grow, you don't need a hug. You need the heat. So now we understand the danger of being average. But here is the surprising part. The only way to reach the top is to start by being your own harshest critic. Chapter 2. The Fire of Honesty. Honesty is a fire. It burns away the lies you tell yourself. Why do people fear Gordon Ramsay? It's not because he yells, it's because he tells the truth. When a chef serves him a dish that is cold or bland, he doesn't say, "It's okay, you tried your best." He says, "This is a disaster. It's raw. Start over." In our lives, we are often too kind to ourselves. We are too soft. We go to a language class. We speak a few sentences with many mistakes. And the teacher smiles and says, "Good job." But was it a good job? Or was it just polite? Politeness doesn't make you fluent. Brutal honesty does. If you want to improve, you need to stop seeking comfort. You need to seek the truth. Think about your friends. When you speak English to them, they probably don't correct you. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They want you to feel good. But that kindness is actually holding you back. It is keeping you in a cage of mistakes. Here is a pattern interrupt for you. A complete shift in how you think. Stop asking your friends if your English is good. Stop asking, "Did you understand me?" Instead, ask them a different question. Ask them, "What did I do wrong? Where was my grammar weak? Which word did I say incorrectly?" This is the Ramsay way. You go looking for the mistake. You hunt for the error. When you find a mistake, you don't feel bad. You feel excited. Why? Because a mistake identified is a mistake you can fix. If you don't know the problem, you can never find the solution. Later in this video, I will show you a simple habit to audit your own performance every single day. But for now, I want you to feel the heat of honesty. Imagine you are in a high-pressure kitchen. You have 10 orders waiting. You are sweating. You are tired. In that moment, you don't want a nice person telling you that you are doing fine. You want a leader who tells you exactly what is wrong, so you can fix it immediately. You must be that leader for yourself. When you record your voice and listen back, don't focus on what sounded good. Focus on the parts that sounded lazy. Focus on the words you mumbled. Fluent speakers are not fearless. They are simply more honest about their weaknesses than everyone else. So now we understand that feedback is a gift. But here is the surprising truth. You cannot cook a 5-star meal if you haven't mastered the most boring skill in the kitchen. Chapter 3. Mastering the basics first. You can't cook a masterpiece if you can't chop an onion. Have you ever seen a beginner chef try to make a complex French soufflé? They worry about the presentation. They worry about the expensive ingredients. But when you watch them hold a knife, they are clumsy. Their cuts are uneven. They haven't mastered the basic skills. In English, we do the exact same thing. We want to talk about philosophy. We want to use advanced idioms and look smart in business meetings. But then we struggle with the most basic verb tenses. We mix up he and she. We forget the S at the end of a word. Gordon Ramsay has a rule. If you can't master the basics, you have no right to touch the advanced stuff. If a chef in his kitchen cannot chop an onion perfectly, every piece exactly the same size, Ramsay will not let them cook the steak. Why? Because if the onions are different sizes, they cook at different speeds. Some burn, some stay raw. The base of the dish is ruined. Your English is exactly like that dish. Your basic grammar and your core pronunciation are your onions. If your onions are messy, your soufflé will fail. It doesn't matter how many fancy words you know. If the foundation is weak, the whole house shakes. Many students tell me, "I'm bored of the basics. I want something new." That is the ego talking. The ego wants to feel advanced. But excellence doesn't come from doing new things. Excellence comes from doing the basic things better than anyone else. Think about the most fluent person you know. They don't necessarily use big words. They use simple words with perfect clarity. They have mastered the rhythm of the language. Ramsay spent years in Paris, working 16 hours a day, doing the most boring tasks over and over. He peeled thousands of potatoes. He cleaned hundreds of fish. He didn't complain that it was too easy. He focused on doing it perfectly. He knew that speed and beauty come from a foundation of discipline. So, look at your English study today. Are you rushing to learn 100 idioms for business while you still struggle with the past tense? If you are building on sand. Stop. Go back. Master the simple sentences. Master the sounds that are difficult for you. Later in this video, I will give you a challenge to test your foundation under pressure. But first, we must understand that the kitchen and the world is not always calm. So now we know why basics matter. But here is the strange reaction in the brain. The moment things get difficult, the basics are the first thing we forget. Chapter 4. Working Under Pressure. A calm kitchen teaches you nothing. It is the dinner rush that makes the chef. Have you noticed how your English changes depending on who you are with? When you are alone in your room, you feel like a genius. You read a book. You understand everything. You speak to the mirror and your accent sounds perfect. But then, you go into a real meeting, or a foreigner asks you for directions on the street. Suddenly, your brain shuts down. Your heart beats faster. Your palms get sweaty. The English that was perfect 5 minutes ago is gone. You can't even remember how to say hello. In psychology, we call this the performance gap. Gordon Ramsay knows all about this gap. In his kitchens, he creates artificial pressure. He screams the time. 2 minutes? 1 minute? Where is the sea base? He doesn't do this to be a bully. He does this because he knows that if you can't cook under pressure, you can't cook at all. In the real world, no one waits for you to find the perfect word. Conversations move fast. Decisions happen in seconds. If you only practice English when you are relaxed, you are training for a world that doesn't exist. You are a fair-weather speaker. You need to train your mind to stay sharp when the stress hits. You need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let's do a mini challenge right now. I want you to take out your phone. Open the voice recorder. I'm going to give you a topic, and I want you to set a timer for exactly 1 minute. The topic is, what is your biggest goal for next year? Start the timer. Now, speak. Do not stop. Do not say or If you make a mistake, keep going. If you forget a word, explain it in a different way. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to survive the minute without stopping the flow. How did that feel? For most of you, your heart rate went up. You felt the pressure. That pressure is where the real learning happens. Later in this video, I will show you how to use this stress training to become twice as fast in your conversations. But first, we need to talk about what happens when things go wrong. Because in a high-pressure kitchen, things always go wrong. So now we understand the power of pressure. But here is the surprising part. The difference between a leader and a failure is not how they feel, but how they use their heat. Chapter 5. Passion versus emotion. Anger is a tool. Emotion is a trap. Learn the difference. When people watch Gordon Ramsay, they see him explode. They see the red face, the shouting, and the slamming of the table. Most people look at that and think, he is out of control. They are wrong. Ramsay is in total control. What you see is not emotion, it is passion. There is a massive difference between the two. Emotion is when you fail an English test and you go home to cry. Emotion is when you feel embarrassed during a presentation, so you stop speaking and look at the floor. Emotion is reactive. It makes you smaller. It makes you hide. Passion is different. Passion is a fire that drives you forward. When Ramsay shouts at a chef for serving cold soup, he isn't trying to hurt their feelings. He is trying to protect the standard. He is using that energy to demand a better result right now. He is channeling his anger into a productive focus. He doesn't break down. He wakes up. Think about the last time you made a mistake in English. Maybe you used the wrong word in front of your boss. Maybe you forgot a basic grammar rule. How did you react? Did you feel emotional? Did you tell yourself, I'm so stupid. I'll never learn this. I'm just bad at languages. That is a trap. That kind of thinking is a waste of energy. It doesn't fix the soup. It doesn't improve your English. Instead, you must learn to use that heat. When you make a mistake, feel the sting. Let it bother you, but don't let it paralyze you. Use that energy to say, I am never making that mistake again. I will practice this phrase 50 times tonight until it is perfect. That is the Ramsay way. You take the frustration of being average and you turn it into the fuel for being extraordinary. Fluent speakers are not people who never feel embarrassed. They are people who hate being average so much that they refuse to let a mistake go uncorrected. Stop being a victim of your feelings. Start being a master of your standards. If you are angry that you can't speak fluently yet, good. Use that anger to study harder. Use it to record yourself again and again. Don't break down. Step up. So now we understand how to use our inner fire. But here is the most important part. How do you know if you are actually improving or if you are just busy? Later in this video, I will give you the exact tool to measure your progress. Chapter 6. The Excellence Audit. You cannot manage what you do not measure. In a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, every single night ends with a post-service meeting. The kitchen is closed. The customers are gone. The chefs are exhausted. But they don't go home yet. They stand in a line and they review every single mistake made that night. Which steak was sent back? Why was the risotto 30 seconds late? Who forgot to wipe the plate? This is what I call the excellence audit. Most English learners don't do this. They finish their study session, close the book, and walk away. They feel busy, but they don't know if they are actually getting better. Being busy is not the same as being excellent. If you want to speak like a leader, you must audit your own performance every single day. You need to look at your English like a head chef looks at a kitchen. Is the foundation clean? Is the execution sharp? Or are you getting sloppy? I want to give you a tool right now. This is the Personal Standards Audit Checklist. Ask yourself these 4 questions every night. 1. Did I accept good enough today? Think about a sentence you said or wrote. Did you use a lazy word because the right word was too hard to remember? 2. Did I seek honest feedback? Did you listen to a native speaker and compare your voice to theirs? Or did you just assume you sounded fine? 3. Did I master a basic skill? Did you say a simple sentence 10 times until the rhythm was perfect? Or did you rush to the advanced stuff? 4. Did I stay sharp under pressure? When you felt nervous, did you keep speaking? Or did you go silent? If you answer no to these questions, you are drifting. You are letting the good enough virus back into your life. Remember, excellence is not a destination. It is a daily practice. Ramsay has 3 Michelin stars, but he still checks the freshness of the fish every single morning. He doesn't trust his past success. He only trusts his current standards. You might have a degree in English. You might have lived abroad. It doesn't matter. If your standards are low today, your English is declining today. Stop checking the clock and start checking the quality. Later in this video, I will show you how to commit to this path forever. But first, take a look at your checklist. Be brutal. Be honest. So now you have the tools to measure your growth. But here is the final breakthrough. All the technique in the world means nothing if you don't have the heart to finish the job. Think about your life for a moment. Think about all the times you stayed silent because you were afraid of making a mistake. Think about the opportunities you missed because you told yourself your English wasn't ready. How many more years are you willing to wait? We often think that people like Gordon Ramsay are born different. We think they have some special magic or extra confidence that we don't have. But they don't. The only difference is that they reached a point where they were tired of being average. They decided that good enough was no longer an option. You can make that same choice today, right now. You are not bad at English. You are not slow. You have simply been too kind to your own excuses. You have been letting yourself stay in the comfort zone, where the heat is low and nothing ever changes. But you are a chef in the kitchen of your own life. You are the lead narrator of your own story. You have the power to turn up the heat. It will be hard. It will be stressful. You will feel the pressure. But as Gordon Ramsay says, if you want to be the best, you have to be obsessed. Don't just study English. Attack it. Demand more from yourself than anyone else would ever dare to ask. When you speak, speak with the intention to be understood perfectly. When you listen, listen with the hunger to learn every detail. You only need the courage to start. The world doesn't need more average people. The world needs people who are willing to do the work, master the basics, and stand tall under pressure. You have that fire inside you. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't. Now go out there and show the world what happens when you stop accepting excuses and start demanding excellence. If this lesson helped you study English differently, subscribe to Study English TV and join our community of high performers. We are here to help you grow, not just learn. I want you to make a commitment right now. Go to the comments and write, "I will stop making excuses. I will speak English today." By writing it, you are making a contract with yourself. And if you want to take your standards to the next level, download the Personal Standards Audit Checklist from the link in the description. Don't settle for good enough. Be excellent. I'll see you in the next lesson.